Okay, Tuesday the 28th of October, and the last update I did on my diet and fitness regime was on, so this is day 57, and my last update was on day 43, so that was 12 days ago. So I stopped them because I'd be just doing a lot of work and like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning a lot, and I'd be concentrating on doing the work and eating and drinking for the work, and so that losing weight or whatever or getting fit would take a bit of a back burner. So I did say I was going to be starting again next Monday, but the overtime I'm doing this week, it's just in the evening between say 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So I think I should restart doing the videos. So my weight this morning was 101.3 kilograms. Well, that doesn't really tell the full story. So we'll break it down into about 4 different bits. So we'll start off with doing the allotment, just in case, because most of my people are gardening people, so they might just want to know what I'm doing gardening wise. So we'll get that out of the way first. Then we'll go on to what I'm working in the future. Then we'll talk about the gym, and then we'll talk about the diet and what I've been eating. So what was the first one of those? Right, yeah, what I've been doing with the allotment. So last Wednesday I actually went to the allotment, and I'd actually gone to the gym on the same day. So this is one of the frustrating things, was that I was thinking that, I just don't have enough energy to go to the gym and to go to the allotment on the same day. And last Wednesday I actually managed it. So that shows that I've actually got quite a bit of energy. So at the allotment, on the southern edge, the bit next to Keith, where he'd dug that trench, so that water would drain away when there's flood water. Let's see whether it's in properly. I filled that in again with wood chip because I feel a lot happier with that, so that's what I've done. And if it upsets him, that's just something that he'll have to deal with rather than me. I mean, if he wants a bloody trench, he can do it on his own allotment plot and not on mine. And then on the opposite edge, the northern edge, which is like where that purple salsify was growing and where the valley was growing, I've also put more wood chip down there. So the 3 things I'm going to be doing with the allotment over the winter is, first of all, move all the raspberries and gooseberries and etc. to one particular corner, and that's partly because I don't know what else to do with that corner, because it's like it gets hidden by the shed on somebody else's plot, and by getting them out of the way, I can have a go at getting the bindweed out, because I'll be moving the raspberry canes etc. to an area which doesn't have bindweed, and it means it should help me clear out the bindweed which is growing around where all the raspberry canes and that are at the moment. And then secondly, I'll be harvesting those Jerusalem artichokes at some stage. I do actually have a confession to make. This is the 3rd year I've grown Jerusalem artichokes. I've never actually eaten one yet. It's just, when you grow them in clay, which in winter, like clay equals mud, you're trying to clean all the clay off the tubers, and you're using cold water and that, and you're doing it outside because you don't want to do it indoors because there's just be too much mud about, and it's just like too much hassle trying to do it on a cold day with cold hands with cold water. And then even after you remove the mud, that's another thing. Is like, is being able to remove all the mud and not actually have some of it there. So that probably means you end up scraping the skin instead or peeling them. I just haven't gotten around to it. So this is the third year I've grown Jerusalem artichokes and never eaten any. Right, and the main event, which will be obviously in a few weeks' time, I'll be either extending the current hugelkultur mound or doing another one next to it, which is like basically where the raspberries and that are at the moment. But instead of filling up the hugelkultur mound with wood, I'll mainly be just filling it up with the decaying stems of the artichoke, of the Jerusalem artichokes, because it's like equivalent of doing a sweet corn crop, and you've got all those sweet corn stems to sort of do something with. So obvious thing to do with them is bury them. So I bury them and then put some more wood chip on. I don't think my hugelkultur mound that I built last year worked very well, because at the end of the day I basically just had 6 inches of clay back on the top, and so anything that got planted into it still had to work its way through those 6 inches of clay in order to get down to any good compost material or whatever underneath. And so basically you just got clay. Instead of being on level ground, it's like just raised up in the air, which means that in the middle of summer it would just get drier quicker, which is no good either. And the other thing was a design fault on my. I just didn't put enough thought or effort into it. So I think the slopes were too. The slopes were too slopey, right? I can't think of the right term. Too steep, that's the word. Right. The slopes were too steep. So when I put, say, wood chip or down as mulch, it wouldn't necessarily stay in position, So I'm going to try and have less steep slopes. So I think the way you have to do that is really have a wider hugelkultur mound. So that's as far as my thoughts on there. The big thing though, because I think, there's just like 2 or 3 things I need to do with the allotment, I'm basically on top of it, is the back garden. There's still lots and lots of work that needs doing in the back garden. And anyone who's watched my videos from earlier, some of my early videos, they know I sort of had a mental blockage with the back garden, which sort of like still exists. But I need to do some work there. One of the polytunnels got damaged in the first storm, in Storm Amy. So we've had another storms in Town Benjamin. It wasn't damaged too much. Like it pulled the cover off a little bit, which is now like down to 1. So I need to like take that off completely and put it into the shed for the winter. But one of the struts is broken, so I'll probably buy a new polytunnel, because they're like only cheap. They're only like 80 quid or whatever, and rather than replacing the whole thing, I'll just I'll just put the 2 new stems in to fix it. So that's that done. For all the gardening folks, so anyone who's just interested in gardening and not me losing weight, they can skip to another video now. Let's see what I'm doing in terms of work. So I'm working this week in the evenings, and then next week I'm only doing 1 day. I'm only working 1 day overtime, which will be on the Friday, which is like, I think the 10th of November or something. No, it can't be the 10th. 8th. No, not even that. I don't know, 6th, who knows. And then the following week, I've got a couple of weeks of doing lots of overtime, because one of my work colleagues, I think she's going back to Ukraine on holiday. So I'll be doing her shifts. Well, that might be December, and I might be doing somebody else's. I don't know. I'm doing one block of overtime in November, and I've got another set organised for the start of December as well. So I will be having money coming in. That's good. Let's cup of tea. So with the gym, what I've done, I'm having my main workout on Wednesdays now, so that's once a week, and that just fits in with my lifestyle a lot better, because I'm working. It's not just that I'm working on Saturdays and Sundays every week, it's that it takes me a day or two to recuperate. So then, trying to go to the gym like on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, when I'm 63 years old and I've got heart failure, is a bit beyond me. Well, that's something else I want to talk about. So my heart failure, I might not actually have heart failure. It's just that at some stage, some nurse said that I had heart failure. So I thought, I've got heart failure. But what I have got is dilated cardiomyopathy, which I don't know whether that's strictly heart failure or that it can develop into heart failure. But the thing, I was watching a video last week and it was saying that people with these kind of conditions, that they've like pretty much live the same length of time as the general population. And like for about for the past dozen years or so, I've been thinking, oh, I'll have a shortened life. But apparently there's possibilities I'll live the same length of time as other people. So I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have been wasting my time. Right. So that's why I haven't really had too many plans for the future and whatever. So I'm going to the gym on the Wednesday, but because I'm only weight training once a week, I'm adopting a training scheme, which is like the Mike Mentzer consolidation program, and that's like meant for busy executives or whatever. And although I think it was Mentzer trying to prove a point that you only need to do a minimal number of exercises, and you only need to do them a minimal amount of time. So I think that's the main reason he threw this program together. And so I don't actually think it's optimal at all, but it fits in with my lifestyle and with my age and whatever. So what it is, there's two workouts. There's workout A, which you do 1 week, and then there's workout B, which you do the following week. So you do workout A every fortnight, and you do workout B every fortnight. And it's just 2 exercises in each. So in workout A, so these are all to failure. So Mike Mentzer, he's well known for high intensity training and training to failure. So the first one is squats to failure. Now, anyone who knows about squats, knows that squats to failure is a dangerous thing and you don't do it. So because of that, you do it on the Smith machine, which I won't go into what the Smith machine is. If you want to know what the Smith machine is, you can just Google it or look it up on another YouTube video. So that's a lot safer. So it squats to failure for the first one, and then I can't remember whether it's dips. Not yeah, it's the lateral pull down, but instead of doing the lateral pull down with your hands like that wide, so it's not really a lateral pull down at all. Your hands are close together, only 8 inches apart, and instead of the grip being that way, the grip is that way. So in addition to training all the muscles down here and whatever, you'll also be doing some bicep work here. So it's a pull down done like that. So that's just the 2 exercises in workout A. And workout B is deadlift to failure. I did that last week. I went, what did I do? 110 kilograms. So I did 4 in one go. Then I had a break of a few seconds to try and get my breath back. And I tried another one, and I tried it in all 3 positions, hands like that, hands like that, hands like that, and I just couldn't get it off the ground again. I did one more, but that was it. So I did 4 plus 1, and then like 3 fails. So I'm saying that's a failure. So next week I'll be going up to 115 kilograms. Tomorrow is when I'll be doing the squats properly for the first time. I'm thinking I've probably got the weight too low, but like when I was practicing on the Smith machine a couple of weeks ago, that was like the limit that I got to. So there, I'm doing the Mike Mentzer consolidation program, even though it's from 1996 or 1998, and it's not all that optimal, but it fits in, and it's just like a fun thing to do. I might do other exercises as well. We'll see. I'm still doing the assault bike, because that's just very good at getting you out of puff and clearing your lungs out. So I'll be doing that this afternoon before I go into work. And I did the biocircuit yesterday, which, I don't know, it was a bit of a waste of time, but I do it anyway, just for something to do. It just keeps me in the habit of going to the gym. Now food, last Thursday I started doing the sugar diet, also known as the honey diet. Now quite a few people on either keto or carnivore diets, which is what I've mainly been on, they've been adopting this. I don't know whether they just get bored or tired of being on carnivore all the time, but so it is something different, but it's also something I don't know whether you can sustain it or not. But basically, what it's based upon is having a very minimal or zero amount of protein, and having lots of fructose. So sucrose is 50% fructose and 50% glucose. So anything high in sucrose, you can use that as well. And basically, fructose, instead of getting processed by the gut, just the same as alcohol, it gets processed by the liver instead. So say you're eating a lot of fruit or drinking a lot of fruit juice, the liver doesn't want to get overwhelming. So it's saying, okay, you found a food source, it hasn't got much protein, but we really need the protein. So we're just going to have to eat a lot of this, but we'll just waste the carbohydrates that's coming along with the protein. So it sends a message to the rest of the body. I think it's this hormone FGH21, which is like fibroblast growth factor. 21. So that's something else you can also look up, is FGF21, and it sends the body to the message to the rest of the body to start burning this stuff up, and it gets the fat cells to start burning fat, and it's basically an inefficient process. So basically what the fat cells are doing is they're just generating heat. So although you're consuming all this fruit and fructose, you're not really gaining weight, but you are accumulating more fat in the liver, but you're losing it in your cells elsewhere. So the idea is that you can do this for a short time, or you can do it for a few days. But then see, but the problem is that you've got a lack of protein. So the alternative method is that you eat fruit or the fruit, drink the fruit juice in the first part of the day, then you have a little bit of a break, then you eat your protein in the evening, and then by the time the next morning's gone round and the protein's been processed, you can go back on the sugar diet and start doing the fruit and fruit juices again. So I started this last Thursday. What I had problems with is nailing down what I eat in the evening, because I have a habit of, when I go shopping, if something's cheap or something takes my eye, then I buy it, and then I have to like eat it at some stage. So a couple of days, I was eating too many starchy carbohydrates, I think, and like there was one day at the weekend, I was cooking a beef joint, but I really fancied some sage and onion stuffing, so I had some sage and onion stuffing, and my weight just totally ballooned up. I went over 104 kilograms, so I'm now down to 101. So basically, in the last 2 or 3 days, I've lost 3 kilograms. But that's not like just proper weight. That's just the effect of that sage and onion stuffing. So it's a combination of that being carbs, but it's mainly because it's being processed food. I think something about processed food makes you gain weight. That's my view anyway. So that's what's going on with the diet. I'm doing the sugar diet, except today I've stopped the sugar diet because I'm going to the gym tomorrow. I'm gone back to doing the protein, getting my body ready. So I had half a chicken for breakfast, and I'll be this evening when I get home from work. I'll be finish off this roast beef joint, and then the remainder of that half a chicken. So that's what I'll have this evening. So I'll use both of those up. And then tomorrow morning, I'll be having the whey protein and whatever. So I'll be having mixtures of carbs and protein and fats tomorrow, because that's my weight training day. And afterwards, I'll also have a little bit of protein, a little bit of carbohydrate, and probably quite a bit of protein. And then on Thursday, I'll probably go back to being on the sugar diet. So I think that's pretty much enough for one video. Just to let you know that I will be trying to because I'm only like working in the evening. I'll go back to doing daily updates, so you know what's going on. Okay, thank you for your forbearance.